Hey everybody, welcome back to Muscle Car Campy, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to hit the bell to get a reminder every time a new video goes live. We've got a hot one for you today, a genuine 1970 Torino Cobra 429 Super Cobra Jet with the drag pack. This beast was all new for 1970. Not only did it get a new name, Torino Cobra, but it also had a new body and a new engine, the 429 Cobra Jet, or in the case of our feature car tonight, the Super Cobra Jet. When you think back to all the Ford big blocks from this era, you had multiple 427s, 428s, and 429s. It was like a math book threw up on you. But not only was the 429 Cobra Jet the newest of the lot, but the 385 series from which it sprang was special in many ways. It debuted in 1968, which made it the last all-new big block out of Detroit. It was also the first Ford engine to use canted valve cylinder heads. This was a year before the Boss 302 and 2 years before the 351 Cleveland. To make it a Cobra Jet, the 429 got improved cylinder heads with better flowing ports, bigger valves, a high-rise cast iron intake manifold, and 11.3-to-1 compression. Up top was a 700 CFM Rochester carburetor. This was good for 370 horsepower at 5,400 RPM and 450 pound-feet of torque. If you ordered the Super Cobra Jet option like our feature car, you got forged pistons, a mechanical lifter cam, an oil cooler, and a Holley 780 carb, and it was all good for 375 horsepower, now at 5,600 RPM.
The car was in decent shape. I mean, it was complete. It was a driver. It's probably what they call a 20-footer. You know, it looked good from pretty far away. It wasn't real rusty, but it was in decent shape. It was a good driver. The car, when it was originally built, was I believe it was called a nutmeg color, which I consider brown. When I bought the car, it was yellow, and whenever I had it redone, I decided to have it redone in black.
Obviously, the car must have been pretty straight if you had the nerve to paint it black, and this car is really in great shape.
Well, no, it wasn't really straight. It took a lot of block sanding to get it straight, and a lot of hours priming and block sanding to get it straight for the black paint. I did pretty much everything on the car except the paint and body work. I did help with the body work, but I did not do the paint and body work. I did everything else on the car, rebuilding the motor, the interior, all the exhaust system, the rear end, all the suspension, pretty much everything else in the car.
How fast did it run in the quarter mile when you were racing it?
When I used to drag race it, it ran 1170s at about 121, 122 miles an hour.
And what combination was in it then?
It was basically the same top end, but it did have a 460 short block in it instead of the 429.
So it was basically a 460 Super Cobra Jet.
Correct.
That's not bad. High 11s. And what gears were in it then?
I had 430 gears in it then. The car came originally with 391s, but for drag racing I did put 430 gears in.
And when you rebuilt the engine now, it's completely stock?
Correct. Yeah, or as close as possible.
So Danny, tell us about all the luxury options you have on this car, like power windows, air conditioning, power steering, etc.
Well, I wish that I had some of those things, but unfortunately this car was not very highly optioned. Does not have power steering. It does not have power brakes. They're drum brakes all the way around.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, again, you ordered a Super Cobra Jet. You were aiming to go fast in a straight line, so I guess you didn't need power steering in the burnout area.
All of those things, I guess, were considered power robbers at the time. So yeah, this was a pretty stripped down. I'm surprised it even came with an AM radio, but
it was probably too hard to find a car without it.
correct. Probably had to have something in there. No one really remanufactures too many parts for Torinos, you know, as they do for Mustangs and a lot of other cars, Chryslers and all that. So it's really hard to find the correct parts to make one of these cars correct. The carburetors, the distributors, you know, you have the 780 Hollies for automatics, you have 780 Hollies for 4-speeds. You have the distributor, the vacuum advances are different between an automatic and a 4-speed. They look different, so if you want to be correct, you have to have the correct one for a 4-speed car, which are, you know, kind of hard to find. So there are just so many things. The exhaust manifolds on these cars, to find a good set of those that you don't, you know, spend as much money to buy as you would to buy a house, you know, you're lucky. Because again, most guys, when they bought these cars, they pulled those exhaust manifolds off and put headers on it, you know, as soon as they got home. So those exhaust manifolds went in the garbage. So yeah, it's pretty hard to gather up parts to do one of these cars.
And how many Super Cobra Jet Torinos with a 4-speed were made in 1970? Do you know off the top of your head?
You know, off the top of my head, I don't know the breakdown between 4-speeds and automatics, but I do know that there were only 1,475 Super Cobra Jet drag packs built in 1970, and they were only built in 1970. You couldn't get a drag pack or a Super Cobra Jet in 71. So these were only built in 1970. There were 1,475 of them built, and the breakdown between 4-speeds and automatics, I've actually thought of trying to find that out, but I've never found out what the breakdown is.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to Muscle Car Camping. Be sure to subscribe, turn on that bell so you get a notification every time a new video goes live. See you next time.